Shalom, Kahalo Yahal Bashim Yahashah Bashim Kakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them, that taught us his truth, and shalom and salutations to all the brothers up pushing the world. Truth and sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. I'm the brother Yahshua. I'm back with the WW3 Daily update. And we're going to quickly go to Matthew and get our rumors. Keep it short. Lord willing. Let's see, Satan is already in effect. And ye shall hear, Matthew 24:6, ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. All right, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things which come to pass, but the end is not yet. Okay, rumors. All right, you got one guy saying, and let's get this real quick too. Let's get okay, so this is June 27th. NATO pledges 300,000 troops in biggest defense overhaul. NATO to put 300,000 troops on high alert in response to Russia. Okay, high readiness. All right, and we'll go Turkey agrees to Sweden and Finland joining NATO. Okay, this is also, or this is the 28th. NATO reaches deal with Turkey to admit Sweden and Finland. Turkey lifting objections to Sweden and Finland joining NATO. Turkey clears the way for Finland and Sweden to join NATO. Okay. All right. So now let's see what this guy, who happens to, when I say this guy, I mean Scott Ritter, who happens to know some things about the theater and the operations of the United States military. All right, so this is Don't Speak News, Johnny Storm, July 1st, war updates. Lithuania to cease. Lithuania will cease to exist as NATO is not ready for war with Russia. That's his. So let's watch. He just brings a bunch of updates. We'll watch these and we'll go ahead and close up.
Hey everybody, Johnny here, Don't Speak News. News you're not supposed to speak about, man. This would qualify as some of that, as this goes against the mainstream narrative about Ukraine. So here it is from Regis Tremblay's channel on YouTube. Ukraine today and tomorrow as decision centers are targeted. The big picture. And in this particular segment, I'm going to show you some answers from Scott Ritter, former U.S. Marine and UN weapons inspector, who gives honest assessments about what NATO can do, what they can't do, and how they've basically been fairy dusted themselves, as he puts it here, when they met in Madrid here this past week, where all of a sudden they've got these grandiose plans of, establishing a 300,000 man force inside of Europe to confront Russia, which they can't even get close to that, guys. They can't even get close. They're at 40,000 now with this supposed rapid readiness response force. And we don't really know how ready they truly are. But anyway, here's Scott Ritter's assessment of recent NATO meetings and Russian progress in Ukraine.
But the thing is, for instance, the notion of going from 40,000 readiness forces, rapid deployment forces to 300,000. Well, it sounds great on paper. I mean, and they produced a lot of great PowerPoints in Madrid. I mean, really impressive stuff. There's some big arrows, big words, big pictures. They ain't never going to get 300,000 people. I'll just put that right down right now. Can't afford it. They don't have the ability to sustain it. They have no clue what they're talking about. This is 30 idiots getting around thinking big on Stoltenberg, projecting something that will never happen. It will never happen. That's a guarantee. Because what is a rapid reaction force? The idea means it react rapidly. That means that they need to be ready to fight now. There's a reason why they only had 40,000 of those. And remember, that includes Air Force, Navy, and ground troops. So that's not 40,000 hardened forces. That's 40,000 nothing forces. First of all, the 40,000 were a joke. Airborne against tanks. It don't work. I mean, we learned that in Arnhem. We can go on and on and on. Now they're talking.
You understand? This guy, if you look up who Scott Ritter is, he's well versed. Might seem like he's polarized, but you got to take into account what he's saying. So let him continue.
We can go on and on and on. Now they're talking 300,000. That means you not only have to have the people to do it, the equipment to do it, but the same sustainability to do it. Pro hint, NATO. Russia's firing 60,000 rounds a day. You don't have enough ammunition in your armories to last 10 days in sustained combat with the Russians. You will run out of artillery and you will all die. Or they're just the 300,000 idiots who think you're going to turn into a rapid reaction force. I'm sorry to get worked up here, but the world is taking what these people say seriously. The British are cutting their forces from 84,000 to 72,000 because they can't afford it. And they're now going to what? Where are they going to get the 300,000? The Americans put the 5th Corps headquarters in Poland. Wow. Buy me a beer. I'm really nervous. There's one brigade of heavy brigade that rotates through Europe. There's a striker brigade that is good for screening. That's about it. They have other equipment for one more brigade to come in. That gives you a division if that brigade can land, because they're going to blow the warehouse up with all the stuff in it, blow up the ports, blow up the airports. You still don't have a division. A corps is 2 or more divisions. Where are they coming from? They don't exist. You're in America. They're underfunded. They don't. It's all pie in the sky. I'll give you another pie in the sky. The wonderful little love fest between Stoltenberg and, I'm sorry, I get my dog upset, Stoltenberg and Erdogan, the Finns and the Swedes, and oh my God, we love each other. Let's sign the document. Ain't it nice? Except the Turks have said, I want 76 heads on a platter delivered before we agree to this. And the Swedes are going, what? Yes, 76 heads on a platter. That means you give me those 76 people I've given you by name. They're coming to Turkey. We're going to torture them. We're going to murder them because they're terrorists. The Swedes are going, but some of them are citizens. Our laws won't allow it. They won't allow it. You know who else won't allow it? The European Union won't allow it because they have laws against this kind of thing. It will never happen. Finland just said, we ain't going to do it. And Erdogan said that my parliament will never let you join NATO. So
there's more pie in the sky. Finland and Sweden joining NATO is not going to happen, apparently. And so there you go, guys. Don't believe all of this garbage you see and hear in the mainstream.
Back to wars and rumors of war. Okay. Reports and threats. All right.
Because it's been all over the place. It's hard to miss. Oh, we're going to have 300,000, this conference said, you know. Jan Stoltenberg up there talking smack, and Macron and Johnson and Biden. You know, it's pathetic. And it's a farce. But like Scott said, and that's the reason he got fired up, is that people are dumb enough to believe this because they don't understand the situation on the ground as it stands today. You know, everybody thinks of the movies. Everybody thinks of, you know, those Cold War movies back in the day where we stand up against the Russians and we defeat them because we're the superior power. We have superior technology and all this stuff on the USA side. Well, guys, guess what? Not only do they not have the forces, as Scott was telling you there, to sustain any type of long-term operation against Russia, artillery-wise, they're going to get their butts handed to them after 10 days, maybe less, because they don't have the equipment to stand up to them. They just don't have it. They don't have the manpower. They don't have the equipment. And the equipment that we do have that's supposedly so sophisticated and advanced, half of it doesn't work. At any given time, the F-35, half the force is grounded. Go check it out for yourselves. Go look it up. I've looked it up time after time after time, and there's always issues with that particular aircraft. And that's just one example. That's just one. The Gerald Ford aircraft carrier. The elevators to lift the aircraft up and down, the munitions up and down weren't even working here not long ago. Living conditions are horrible. The morale of the troops is very low. Half of them, well, a lot of them have already taken the you-know-what, so they're sick. A lot of the pilots can't fly because of that you-know-what. So you think the United States is just going to walk on Russia? Really? It's just amazing some of the comments I see on social media and on this channel. And they're calling me a traitor and this and that and the other thing. Guys, I'm just here to tell the truth. I'm just here to tell the truth, ugly as it may be for the United States and NATO, because it's very ugly. This won't be Ukraine once this begins. And it's going to begin, and probably soon, as Hal Turner talks about here in his covert intel, Lithuania is going to cease to exist. Covert intel from Russia says discussion about this ongoing situation with Kaliningrad and how Lithuania is, closed off supplies to that Russian enclave in Europe between the sandwich between Lithuania and Poland. We've been talking about it here over the past couple of weeks now. Well, basically, they've drawn up military plans to just decapitate the government of Lithuania and take it over. Lithuania will cease to exist. Part of it's going to be they're just going to expand Kaliningrad and give it, to Kaliningrad. And then the rest of Lithuania will part of it will go to Belarus as well, according to this plan. And then if if Lithuania and NATO invoke Article 5, then NATO will be decapitated as well. All those decision-making centers like Brussels, Berlin, Paris, they'll be gone. So make no mistake, this is getting very serious and very close now. And Lithuania is going to be left out, hanging out to dry. And if NATO invokes Article 5, because, Lithuania is a member, then all of NATO will be attacked, especially the decision-making centers.
Okay. That's good enough for today. All right. So, things are fluid. Can't believe everything you hear. Wars and rumors. Okay, let's look at that again. Oh, Slovakia. Here. Okay. Matthew 24 and 6, you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Is that good enough? Report threats of war. Wars and threats. Okay. Reports. News. All right. We got them all. All right, so with that, we hope that the elect were edified. You brothers and few sisters, and with that, we're going to say shalom.